And in just hours, President Biden will introduce an array of new measures to combat gun violence. The main target, ghost guns. The weapon can be 3D printed at home, essentially made of plastic, meaning they can bypass metal detectors. They also lack serial numbers, and many big cities say they are recovering from an increasing number of these weapons. In addition, President Biden will nominate Steve Dettelbach as the director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. He's a former U.S. attorney and a career prosecutor. The announcement comes after a weekend of violence in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. 2 people were killed and 10 others hospitalized after a nightclub shooting there. Police say the investigation is ongoing and no arrests have been made so far. Joining us now, White House Domestic Policy Advisor and Director of the Domestic Policy Council, Susan Rice. She also served as National Security Advisor in the Obama administration, and it is great to have you on the show this morning. Joe starts us off.
So, Susan, thanks so much for being with us today. You look at these ghost guns and you look at the fact that they're custom made for terrorists. They're custom made for gang members. They're custom made for career criminals. I salute the president for making this, stepping in this direction. But nobody opposes this, do they? Like Republicans don't oppose this, do they?
Well, I'll let them speak for themselves, Joe, but there have been historically opposition from the NRA and other pro-gun entities to any kind of restrictions on ghost guns. And as you say, these are the weapons of choice for criminals, for terrorists, for domestic abusers, because they are unserialized. They have no number on which to trace them back to the seller and therefore the owner. And why this action that we're taking today is so important is that it will require that there be serial numbers on these so-called kits, homemade kits that people can purchase online with the parts and the directions to make a ghost gun at home in under 30 minutes. These are very, very dangerous weapons, and they are increasingly showing up on our streets as the weapon of choice for criminals of all varieties.
So, Susan, I'm confused. Why would any gun group, why would anybody want guns to be to proliferate across the United States of America, where there are no serial numbers, where people can go through TSA checkpoints and take guns on planes and hijack planes? They can go into courthouses, kill judges, kill plaintiffs, kill anybody inside those courtrooms. Why would anybody not support the banning of this dangerous technology?
Joe, for the same reason these people do not want common sense background checks for all guns sold. They don't want to close critical loopholes in our background check system. The same people who want assault weapons on our streets. These are, our pro-gun lobbyists with a great deal of influence, unfortunately, in our Congress and in this town. And they want nothing to do with any kinds of restrictions on dangerous weapons, whatever their use.
Ambassador Rice, good morning. John Lemire, great to see you again. The president also expected to announce his new nominee for ATF director, Steve Dettelbach, as Mika said. This comes, of course, as after the White House had to withdraw the nomination of David Chipman following protests from Republicans who said he would not protect their right to bear arms. Can you tell us what sort of message is the president sending with his current nominee?
Well, Steve Dettelbach is a career prosecutor, spent more than 2 decades in the Justice Department as a prosecutor, going after violent gangs, arsonists, violent criminals of all sorts. He's extremely well qualified. He was confirmed unanimously on a bipartisan basis when he was named U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Ohio. So he's extremely well qualified, and anybody in the United States Senate who is concerned about reducing crime, dealing with our gun crime challenge, and ensuring responsible, reasonable, thoughtful leadership at the ATF should be supporting Steve Dettelbach.
Susan, it's Katty Kay here. Just on Ukraine and specifically about your old beat at the United Nations, you were the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. President Zelensky recently addressed the Security Council, and he was absolutely scathing, saying they may as well, pack up and go home if they weren't going to try and do something to keep the peace in Ukraine. Was he too harsh about the UN? I mean, it's been striking how absent the United Nations has been from what's happening. There are no peacekeepers. The Secretary General Guterres has not gone to Kyiv recently to visit Zelensky. Should the UN be doing more? Could the UN be doing more?
Kathy, tempting as it is, I'm not going to talk to foreign policy and national security in my current role as domestic policy advisor. I'll leave that to my very capable colleagues.
All right. Okay. White House Domestic Policy Advisor Susan Rice, thank you very much. It's always good to see you, and we appreciate you coming on.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.